Think about the last time you walked into a fast food restaurant. You knew exactly what you wanted. A burger, fries, maybe a drink, quick in, quick out. But then you got to the counter, and somehow, by the time you walked out, you'd spent $18 instead of $10. Extra large instead of medium. A combo instead of just the burger. Apple pie you didn't even want. How did that happen? You weren't hungrier than when you walked in. You didn't suddenly need more food. But your wallet got lighter anyway. Here's the truth. Fast food restaurants in Canada aren't just selling you food. They're running a psychological operation. Every color on the wall, every word on the menu, every sound in the background, it's all designed to make you spend more, and you don't even notice it happening. Today, we're exposing the shocking tricks Canadian fast food chains use to manipulate you into spending way more. Some of these will make you laugh. Others will genuinely make you angry. But all of them are happening right now, every single time you walk through those doors. Let's pull back the curtain. Trick. Number 1, the color conspiracy. Let's start with something you see every day but never think about. The colors. Walk into a McDonald's anywhere in Canada. What do you see? Red, yellow, everywhere. The walls, the logo, the uniforms, the trays. Now walk into a Wendy's. Red again. Tim Hortons, red and brown. KFC, red and white. Pizza, you guessed it, red. Notice a pattern. It's not a coincidence. And it's not just branding, it's psychology. In the 1960s, a marketing researcher named Louis Cheskin conducted a groundbreaking study on how color affects consumer behavior. He wanted to know, do colors actually influence what people buy? His answer, absolutely. Cheskin discovered that red increases heart rate, stimulates appetite, and creates a sense of urgency. It makes people feel hungrier faster. It makes them order quicker. It makes them think less. And almost every major fast food chain in Canada uses it. But red isn't working alone. McDonald's pairs it with yellow, a color associated with happiness and energy. Together, red and yellow create what psychologists call the ketchup and mustard effect. It's one of the most appetite-stimulating color combinations known to marketing science. McDonald's didn't choose those colors because they're cheerful. They chose them because they make you eat more. But here's where it gets even more calculated. Fast food chains don't just use certain colors. They deliberately avoid others. Blue, for example. Blue is one of the rarest colors in natural food. There are almost no blue foods in nature. Blueberries are purple. Blue corn is really dark purple, and psychologists have found that blue suppresses appetite. It's calming, soothing. It makes people eat slower and feel full faster, which is exactly why you'll almost never see blue inside a fast food restaurant. Not on the walls, not on the menu boards, not on the packaging. One Canadian interior designer who has worked on multiple Tim Hortons and A&W renovations told a trade publication, "Every color decision goes through testing. We're told specifically which colors to avoid because they reduce transaction speed or suppress appetite. Nothing in these spaces are random. So the next time you walk into a fast food restaurant and feel inexplicably hungry, even if you just ate an hour ago, look around. The red walls are working on you, and you never even noticed. But color is just the beginning, because the next trick doesn't just manipulate how you feel, it manipulates how much you think you're getting." Trick 2, the vanishing small. How menus make medium the new normal. Here's a test. Next time you're at a McDonald's, Wendy's, or Tim Hortons, look at the menu board. Try to find the small size. Go ahead, look for it. Can't find it? That's because it's not there. Oh, it exists. You can still order it. But it's not on the board anymore. At most major Canadian fast food chains, the default menu now starts at medium. Small isn't advertised, it's not highlighted, it's barely mentioned. And if it's not on the menu board, most customers don't even know it's an option. This isn't an accident. It's a deliberate strategy called choice architecture. In 2008, a research team from Duke University published a study on how menu design influences purchasing behavior. They found that when the smallest option is removed from visible menus, customers upgrade to the next size 71% of the time, without even thinking about it. Because in the absence of a small, medium becomes the default. And once medium is the default, large starts to look reasonable. Tim Hortons has mastered this. Their menu boards prominently display medium and large sizes. Small is technically available, but you have to ask for it. And most people don't, because if it's not on the board, it doesn't exist in your mind. One Toronto-based consumer behavior researcher conducted an experiment. She visited 15 different Tim Hortons locations across the GTA over 2 weeks. She observed 200 transactions. Of those 200 customers, only 11 ordered a small coffee. The rest ordered medium or large. When she interviewed a sample of those customers afterward, over half didn't even know small was still available. "I just assumed medium was the starting size," one customer said. That assumption cost them an extra 50 cents to $1 per visit. Multiply that by millions of customers, hundreds of visits per year, and you're looking at tens of millions of dollars in additional revenue just from hiding the small size. But it's not just about hiding options. It's about making the options you do see feel like the smart choice. Which brings us to the menu board itself, and the tricks hidden in plain sight. Trick number 3, the menu. Illusion. Anchors, decoys, and the $17 burger you'll never buy. Picture yourself standing at the counter. You're hungry, you're in a rush, you look up at the menu board, dozens of options, flashing screens, combo deals, limited time offers. It's overwhelming, and that's exactly the point, because while you're trying to make sense of the chaos, the menu is doing something to you. It's guiding your decision without you realizing it. Let's talk about the anchor. Every menu has one. It's the most expensive item on the board. At McDonald's, it might be the Signature Collection burger for $14.99. At Wendy's, the Pretzel Bacon Pub for $16.49. At A&W, the Beyond Meat Burger Combo for $17.99. You probably won't order it. Most people don't. But it's not there for you to order. It's there to make everything else look like a deal. This is called price anchoring, and it's one of the oldest tricks in retail psychology. When you see a burger for $17.99 at the top of the menu, your brain registers that as the ceiling. So when you see a combo for $10.99 right below it, it suddenly feels reasonable, even if $10.99 is more than you plan to spend. The anchor made it feel like a bargain. Researchers at Cornell University tested this in 2012. They created 2 identical menus for a fictional restaurant. Menu A listed items from cheapest to most expensive. Menu B listed items from most expensive to cheapest, with the anchor at the top. Customers who saw Menu B spent an average of 23% more than those who saw Menu A. Same food, same prices, different order. That's the power of the anchor. But the tricks don't stop there. Let's talk about the decoy. You're looking at drink sizes. Small, $1.99. Medium, $2.49. Large, $2.79. Which one do you pick? If you're like most people, you pick large. Why? Because the medium feels like a ripoff. You're paying $2.49 for a medium when, for just 30 cents more, you can get a large. That's a no-brainer, right? Exactly. That's the decoy. The medium isn't there for you to buy. It's there to make the large look like the smart choice. And it works. A 2016 study from the University of British Columbia found that when a decoy option is introduced, sales of the higher priced item increase by up to 40%. Fast food chains know this, so they price the medium just high enough that the large feels like a steal. And you walk out with 50% more soda than you wanted, paying 40% more than you planned, thinking you got a deal. One former Subway franchise owner in Vancouver admitted in an interview, "Corporate told us exactly how to price the drinks. The medium was never meant to sell. It was there to push people toward large, and it worked every single time." But anchors and decoys are just the beginning, because there's one more menu trick that's even more insidious, and it happens so fast you'll never catch it. Trick number 4, the upsell ambush. Would you like to make that a combo? You've ordered, you've made your decision, you're ready to pay. And then the cashier asks, "Would you like to make that a combo?" Or, "Would you like fries with that?" Or, "Can I get you a drink today?" It sounds polite, friendly even, but it's not a suggestion. It's a script. And it's one of the most profitable tactics in the fast food playbook. This is called suggestive selling, and every major chain in Canada trains their employees to do it. McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Wendy's, A&W Burger King. They all have the same rule. Always offer the upsell, because even if only 30% of customers say yes, the revenue adds up fast. Let's do the math. A McDonald's location in Toronto serves roughly 1,000 customers per day. If 30% of those customers add a $2.50 upgrade, that's $750 extra per day. Over a year, that's $273,750 in additional revenue. From one location, just from asking one question, multiply that across 1,400 McDonald's locations in Canada, and you're looking at over $380 million per year in upsell revenue from a single scripted question. But here's the truly manipulative part. The upsell question is timed. Employees are trained to ask it at the exact moment when you're most vulnerable, right after you've made your decision. Psychologists call this the commitment and consistency principle. Once you've committed to buying something, your brain wants to stay consistent with that decision. So when the cashier asks if you want to add fries, your brain doesn't reevaluate whether you're actually hungry. It just thinks, "Well, I'm already buying a burger. Might as well get fries too." And just like that, you've spent an extra $3. One former Tim Hortons employee from Ottawa shared their training experience on Reddit. "We were told to upsell on every single order. If someone ordered a coffee, offer a muffin. If they ordered a sandwich, offer a combo. If they said no, we were trained to ask again, with a different item. How about a donut? The goal was to never let someone walk out with just one item." And it works, because most people don't want to seem rude. They don't want to say no twice, so they say yes, even when they didn't want it, even when they didn't need it. And the fast food chain gets richer. But the upsell isn't just happening at the counter. It's happening before you even walk in, through something far more powerful, something you carry in your pocket every single day. Trick number 5, the loyalty trap. How apps turn you into a repeat spender. In 2020, Tim Hortons relaunched their Tim's Rewards app. Within 6 months, over 7 million Canadians had downloaded it. Free coffee after every 7th purchase, exclusive deals, bonus point events. It felt like Tim Hortons was finally giving something back. But they weren't. They were building a trap, and millions of Canadians walked right into it. Here's how loyalty programs actually work. When you download the app, you start earning points. 10 points for a coffee, 25 points for a sandwich. A little counter sits at the top of your screen. You're 150 points away from a free medium coffee. That number becomes a goal, and psychologically, goals are almost impossible to ignore. Researchers call this the progress principle. Once you've started working towards something, your brain is wired to finish it, even if finishing it costs you money. So you go back to Tim Hortons, not because you need coffee, because you're 150 points away from free coffee. And when you go back, you don't just buy coffee. You add a muffin, a bagel, a sandwich, because you're already there. Might as well make it worth the trip. And those extras, they push you closer to the next reward, which brings you back again and again. It's a loop, a carefully designed, psychologically engineered loop. And it works. A 2019 study from the Ivy Business School at Western University analyzed spending behavior among Tim Hortons app users. They found that customers who used the app spent 34% more per month than customers who didn't, not because they were drinking more coffee, because the app made them feel like they were earning something every time they visited, when in reality, they were just spending more. One Toronto blogger tracked her Tim Hortons spending for an entire year after downloading the app. Before the app, $42 per month. After the app, $134 per month, over triple. She wrote, "I thought I was being smart. I thought I was getting free stuff. But when I looked at my bank statements, I realized I was just spending way more to earn rewards that cost Tim Hortons almost nothing to give me." And it's not just Tim Hortons. McDonald's has My McDonald's rewards. A&W has the A&W app. Wendy's has their own loyalty program. They all work the same way. Points, rewards, notifications. You're so close. Come back today and earn double points. Each notification is a nudge. Each reward is bait, and each visit pulls you deeper into the loop. Because once you've invested time and money into earning points, walking away feels like losing. Even when staying means spending more than you ever intended. But loyalty apps aren't the most manipulative trick on this list, not even close. Because the final trick doesn't just make you spend more. It makes you feel like you're running out of time. Trick number 6, the scarcity illusion, limited time only, until next month. McRib is back. Pumpkin spice latte for a limited time. Shamrock shake returns. You've seen these promotions. You've probably even rushed to try them because they're only available for a short time, right? They're rare, special, exclusive, except they're not. The McRib has been limited time only since 1981. It's come back dozens of times. It's not rare, it's seasonal. The pumpkin spice latte at Tim Hortons returns every single fall. Shamrock shake every March. But they're marketed as if they might disappear forever. And that feeling, that fear of missing out, is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in marketing. It's called scarcity, and it works like a drug. In 1975, psychologist Robert Cialdini published a landmark study on scarcity and consumer behavior. He found that when people believe something is rare or running out, they value it more, even if the product itself hasn't changed, even if it's the exact same thing they could get anytime. Just the idea that it might disappear makes people want it. Fast food chains have weaponized this. McDonald's brings back the McRib every year, but they never announce when it's coming back. They just drop it suddenly, and customers flood in. Not because the McRib is particularly delicious, but because it feels scarce. One McDonald's location in Mississauga put up a sign, "McRib is back. Get it before it's gone." The line wrapped around the building. People waited 20 minutes. For a sandwich they could have ordered at dozens of other locations, but the sign made them feel like they were about to miss out, and that urgency overrode logic. Tim Hortons does the same thing with their seasonal donuts. available for a limited time. But those same donuts come back every single year. It's not limited, it's predictable. But the word limited makes people act like it's their last chance. A marketing professor from the University of Toronto explained it this way. Scarcity doesn't have to be real to work. It just has to feel real, and fast food chains are experts at manufacturing that feeling. So the next time you see limited time only, ask yourself, is it actually limited, or are they just making you think it is? Because chances are it'll be back next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. But by then, you'll have already spent your money. So there you have it. 6 tricks Canadian fast, food chains use to make you spend more, red walls that make you hungrier, hidden small sizes that push you toward medium, anchors and decoys that manipulate your choices, upsell scripts that catch you off guard, loyalty apps that trap you in a spending loop, and fake scarcity that makes you panic buy a sandwich. None of this is illegal, but all of it is calculated. These chains aren't just selling food, they're selling psychology, and most of us never even notice. So the next time you walk into a fast food restaurant, pause. Look at the colors. Check for the small size. Notice the anchor on the menu. Think twice before you say yes to the upsell. And remember, limited time usually means until we bring it back next month. Because now you know what's happening, and knowledge is the only defense these chains can't engineer around. Which trick shocked you the most? Have you caught yourself falling for any of these? Drop a comment below. We read every single one. If this video changed the way you see fast food, hit that like button and share it, and subscribe, because we're just getting started. See you in the next one.